maybe guys right now just don't want to play for the Knicks.
It's not. I might be right. The last free agent they got was Amari Stoudemire.
Yes.
How, legitimately, let's be honest. How long ago was that signing?
It was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. 11 years ago.
I want to say it was earlier than that, I feel like.
It was around the LeBron free agency, too, because remember, LeBron was rumored to the Knicks that year, too, in that whole sweepstakes.
And even then, Amari Stoudemire was a big deal because he was the first free agent in a while to choose New York, too.
And John was saying players don't want to come here because they can't handle the pressure of us fans. We get on them. And that could be true, too. I think a lot of...
Yeah, New Yorkers are known to throw things at players. So, it's terrible.
Yeah, and spit at them, too.
so are Celtic fans,
Yeah, but we're a city people want to play in. We get players.
Well, really, who? Who did they get?
Kemba Walker, Gordon Hayward, Al Horford.
Al Horford?
Al Horford was a big get when they first got him.
He wasn't a star. Al Horford wasn't a star. He was a washed-up old man. He was 31.
He was, but you can't say Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward,
yes, but that was Brad Stevens.
Gordon Hayward, the year he came to the Celtics, was the most coveted free agent on the market.
That was Brad
Kemba
Stevens.
Walker, another star when he signed. Now he's really fallen off a cliff since.
Well,
players choose Boston.
Well, Kemba Walker fell off because he had knee surgery last year. I think Boston threw him out too early. I think they should have held on to him for another year and see what they had with him and maybe moved him from there. They traded him to OKC. OKC bought him out. I think the Knicks got to steal with Kemba Walker. I really do. I think they got to steal with him, and if he's healthy.
That's way more stars. That's in the last 3 years, all that kind of stuff. 4 years. I just think more people coming to Boston than in the last dozen years in New York.
No, and Jeff, I'm not going to argue with you when it comes to New York. I think a lot of things, when you look at the New York Knicks, maybe people blame James Dolan. Some people blame the fans, blame the press. You could still make the same amount of money wherever you go. You can go to Portland and make the same amount of money now with the way the endorsements are and the way the TV deals are, no matter where you go in the country. No question. But I think you respect the guys like Julius Randle, and I can't hate on Julius Randle. For a guy to take less money to stay here with the Knicks because he believes that this team is one, maybe even two players away from being a championship team, you got to give him a lot of respect. You can't really take shots at him. You can't.
But the thing is, it's a great deal for him. It's a great deal for the team. It's a great move, for salary cap wise going forward. But again, besides, and that's a great move. I'm saying that's a great move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But what else have the Knicks done this offseason? Almost nothing.
They did. They brought in Fournier. That was a good get for them.
Yeah,
you like Fournier. Okay. You love Fournier.
No.
You did.
He was awful for Boston. He was awful for Boston.
But you liked Fournier when they got him. You liked him.
Yeah, because I was like, we need someone off the bench. He's a bench player. That's what you got, a bench player.
Fournier's not a bench. He averaged 17 points a game.
He came off the bench.
Yeah, on Boston, but he's not a bench player.
17 is a good bench player or a good fifth starter in most NBA lineups.
Yeah, and the guy, and to me, when you're playing on an offense that's going to move the ball on the perimeter the way the Knicks like to play, I think he's going to flourish with the Thibodeau offense. Now, I think he's more of a leader type of guy. He's going to help some of the younger players. And I think even with the Knicks, with the way they drafted this year, they added Grimes. They added some good players. McBride is a good player that they got in the second round. A lot of people thought was a first-round talent. I mean, there are players that you definitely are excited to watch. R.J. Barrett is developing. Quickly, we got to see him another year. We got to see what Obi Toppin does this year. I mean, they've got some good gets. They have good young players. And if they build and the way they want to rebuild, if they build it around these young, youthful players, it will draw some of these superstars to come and want to come and play here. So I agree with you.
I've been hearing that for the better part of a decade.
Yeah,
now,
but
though.
this is
develop this
but
guy,
you know this,
someone's gonna want to play
Jeff.
with him.
You know this is a different team than it was 5-6 years ago. This is a different team.
No, I don't, because you've been saying the same thing over and over and over. Oh, we developed this guy. Well, we're going to be a destination.
Carl says
no one's choosing the Knicks.
All right.
Carl says Beeve and the Cowboys are secondary on the hunt for Jeff. No intercepting happening. Ben says, did someone shave the beef today? Snug says the beef is just salty because he's an incel and the Cowboys still suck.
Oh, he is an incel. That is true. Who said that?
Snug.
Oh, Snug is 100% correct.
Yeah.
You know what an incel is?
I don't, but I figure it's something weird.
it means you're involuntarily celibate.
That's terrible.
Oh,
That is terrible.
What are you talking about? That's true. He's unfuckable.
That's terrible, man.
Carl says Nerlens Noel was about the only one. Ha ha. John says, but players don't want to come here. You said that already. Ben says, if the players can't handle the fans, just do what Ron Artest did. John says, do the guys like Rose signing, or they just give Rose too much money?
No, Rose was a good signing.
Rose got
3 years, $43 million.
That was a good signing.
That's a good deal.
Snug says Kemba Walker and Isaiah Thomas are opening a Waffle House in Soho this offseason.
Probably.
Chaz says, going on a decade without a New York championship, they have twice as many payrolls as most cities. You take those teams' average annual player salaries over the 10 years, and boom, you could pay off the national debt. Ha ha.
Probably.
And then Snug says,
they're still paying off half the coaches. I mean,
yeah.
Fisher's still getting paid. David Fizdale's getting paid. Phil Jackson's still getting paid.
The Knicks organization prints money.
No question. And James Dolan's got a lot of it.
So are you implying that James Dolan has counterfeit money? Because I wouldn't rule that out either.
Nah, James Dolan is one of the richest owners.
No, but it's just he owns a lot of things that do really well. Whether they're good or not, and neither of them have been good in a while, both the Rangers and the Knicks still sell tickets.
Oh, they sell out every day.
They still sell merchandise. Right. So it's like, whether they're good or bad, they're still selling tickets. You can't say that that's the same for like the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're not putting 35,000 a night in Cleveland.
They're lucky they could fit in about 12 to 13,000 people into their stadium. Nobody goes and watch a Cleveland game now that LeBron James is gone.
That's what I'm saying. Regardless, tourists that come into New York will be like, screw it, I'll buy a Knicks ticket and go to the game.
Oh, absolutely. Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. You've heard Michael Jordan, you heard LeBron James, even Kobe Bryant say that's his favorite place to play. Because they love to shut up New York fans. That's what they like. New York fans are giddy and crazy, and they love their basketball. And unfortunately, and you ask any New York sports fan, out of all the sports, everybody wants to see the Knicks win out of all the teams. Everybody. Knicks are.
Well, that's because they're most desperate for that, just because it's been the longest drought. Like they haven't, like the
Jets.
It's been 10 or 15. It's been 10. Well, but no one. Right, but here's the thing: no one cares about the Jets.
That's not true.
For the most part, that's a Giants town, and the Giants have won recently, or kind of recently.
You say New York is a Giants town. That's not true, Jeff. That's not true. Now, there obviously, I would say 60. I would say
somebody's getting hurt.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that all of New York, I would say 60%. Not even 60%. I would say 48% Giant, because there's Buffalo fans too. So.
And there'll be non-New York fans too.
Yeah, but mainly, I would say the Jet fans are not too far from the Giant fans. They're really not. So
they're behind in that race.
Yes,
the Jets have more fans than the Jets. Right. So it's a Giants town. That's all you need to say was correct without getting in your feelings because you're a Jets fan.
No, it's not. That has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's a Giants town. And they've won. So they've fed that New York appetite for football. They have. The Yankees, they've won in the last 10, 15 years, whatever it was their last one. That's not taking a shot. That's facts, right? So, so that appetite, listen, they're getting a little stir-crazy with the Yankees for sure, but they've had that win. You guys haven't had anything in basketball in forever.
70s. I think it was 73.
Yep, 73.
Dude,
that's 50 years ago.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I understand that. And with Willis Reed and obviously the team that they had over there with Walt Clyde Frazier and the Busher, that was a great team. And we look at the Knicks. I'm telling you, if you go ask 10 people right now, what's your favorite New York sport? I would say 7 out of 10 of them will probably say basketball and Knicks. They would take the Knicks.
Really? I would have guessed the Yankees.
No. The Knicks.
Basketball is probably the most popular.
The Knicks are very popular here. They're very, very – and when the Knicks are winning, the fans over here are crazy. Not even just in Long Island. Queens, Brooklyn, everywhere. You watch – dude, you go to a supermarket right now, you'll see Knicks jerseys more than you see Ranger jerseys or Jets or Giants jerseys or Yankee jerseys.
I think,
that's
Jeff –
what it is. It's the hunger for it, though. Even the Rangers whet the appetite. They won in the 93. Was it 93?
94.
Yep.
94. Yeah. So that's certainly much more recent than 73.
Yes.
So, the basketball is where the real desire is, because you haven't gotten anything from there.
I would agree with you on that, but I just think that when you think of sports over here, and I'm one of them. I was a big time hockey player, and I love my football and I love baseball. I was a big diehard Yankee fan, but you ask anybody, what did I love more than anything was Knicks basketball growing up. I loved to watch the Knicks play. And I love to go to games. I love to watch it on TV.
That's just something. That's like a flaw that's within you. You love losers, right? Because you're a Jets fan. You're a Knicks fan.
The Knicks weren't losers. First of all, when I was a Knicks fan in the '90s, the Knicks were not a losing organization. They were a good team.
Finish it off.
That's fine. They still were a winning organization. They still won. They still were a top Eastern Conference
team. The lovable losers.
Oh, get out of here.
We'll make the NL championship game, but we won't ever win it.
Hey, they are still the only team to make the NBA Finals as an 8 seed, though.
How many championships did the Boston Celtics win in the 90s?
Let's see. Not one, maybe? I don't know.
None.
No,
they won none.
Yeah.
They won none.
I don't know. Hey, do you want me to pull the Yankee fan?
That's not. Why are you? There it goes with the Yankees. This has nothing to do with the Yankees.
No, because this is what happens.
Hold on one second. When I was a diehard Knicks fan, it was in the 90s. I asked you, did the Boston?
And they never won.
Okay, that's my question. So why are you attacking the Knicks when the Boston Celtics never won anything in the 90s, and they still had Larry Bird there?
Yeah, but we've won more recently than the 90s.
Oh, they won one. They won.
It's still one more than the Knicks.
Oh, God. Give me a break, Jeff.
What are you talking about?
Give me a
Try
break.
to pick on the Celtics like they haven't
won. I'm not picking.
Have.
No, you want to pick on the Knicks, and I'm telling you,
I'm not picking on the Knicks. I'm saying the fan reaction is because they haven't won in forever. I think that's a fair take.
I don't think
won in a long time.
I'm telling you, Jeff. First of all, if the Knicks ever win a championship, you see how the Philadelphia Eagles acted when. I'm telling you right now, I think there would be so much havoc in the city.
Oh, you think they go Philly crazy?
Oh, they go crazy.
Oh,
no,
I don't know if anyone would go Philly crazy.
Listen, people might go nuts and they might have a great parade and that whole thing.
Did you see what they did when they won? They won one game against the Hawks. Did you see that?
The cops were greasing up light poles in Philadelphia so people couldn't climb them. Right? Like, that's not going to happen in New York.
Jeff, watch what go check out when the Knicks won one game against the Hawks in the playoffs. What the Knicks fans were doing. Look what the Knicks fans were doing.
Don't worry about it. They're never going to win anything.
That's not true.
They're the little brother in the city right now because Brooklyn is going to be a juggernaut.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, underrated signing, Patty Mills in Brooklyn.
No, okay, Patty Mills. Oh, yeah. A 33-year-old point guard. Yeah, that's great. Great move.
Ball handler.
Great move. Let me tell you something. The Nets are never going to win. They're never going to win. And by the way, Sean Marks will be fired in the next 2 years.
Right.
Take that to the bank.
Errol says the Nets will never win.
They're never winning. They're never winning. Nope, they're never winning.
The next failed big three, huh?
They're never going to win. I'll guarantee that.
Snug says, maybe New York has trouble attracting stars because they've heard about a crazy Long Island stalker about Dak Prescott. Snug says the Beef has some feelings about being the show clown. Snug says, at least I was born the last time the Celtics won a championship. John says, if the Knicks win, we will go nuts here in New York. And Snug says, New York fans will be out munching horse poops in the streets if they win a title.
Probably.
Oh, yeah, that would be full Philly if they did that.
Probably. I really do believe it. I don't think people realize, I don't think anybody realizes how much New York basketball is so important. And nobody gives a crap that the Brooklyn, even if Brooklyn wins a championship, nobody's going to give a crap. Nobody is going to give a crap. And that's why I believe Kevin Durant can win a championship with Brooklyn. That's great. Congratulations to Kevin Durant if it ever happens. Nobody's going to care. If he went to New York, if he went to the Knicks and won a championship with the Knicks, it'd be a whole different story.
If the Nets win a championship, would they have to give away tickets to the parade
Probably.
like they did for their playoff games?
Probably.